you can even do it more simple. Like, for example, I saw you had like directories per package, then a configuration file. But apart from that, you could also have like so to set generic configurations that have no sensitive information and per customer directory.
That's not my next slide, but it's my next slide. Wow.
Well, it's from generic.
Like I said, I'm talking about lots and lots of hosts, and just installing the Apache package, for example, and making sure that the Apache service is running. Well, that's the same everywhere and on each host you maintain. Well, just some examples. Aprox is some proxy thingy to allow you to proxy Debian archives. It saves bandwidth. DLVD is a grade 1 over Ethernet mechanism that allows you to implement some cool failover stuff. What we did, we made a large generic pool, and we also published that pool. I'll come to that later on. But in the generic pool, we made sure that there's no client or customer-specific information like passwords or file paths and that sort of things. And the generic modules are therefore very well exchangeable. You can easily copy the Apache module to some other managed operations company or some other guy using Puppet. And I really, if you want to try Puppet or if you do already use Puppet, I really encourage you to do so as well. Then we have the Kumina best practice modules, and sometimes we do things our way. When, for example, we always want syntax highlighting in some type of configuration file, we want to set that in Vim. But maybe you do not want that at all, or you want some other default config option. So what we did, we made another configuration repository named KBP, like Kumina best practice, and we store all semi-generic config using our way of working. We store it there. And of course, the KBP MySQL module, it inherits, just like in programming languages, it inherits, well, it's not mentioned here, but inherits the generic MySQL module. Then we have environment-specific modules for ourselves, for some clients, and of course we inherit the KBP modules in the environments, and there we set the passwords and client-specific stuff. So yes, absolutely, there was very well support for that. Any questions on this? No? Okay. Earlier we were talking about version control. In the Puppet picture, the Puppet guys mentioned Subversion, but I absolutely hate Subversion for Puppet. And there's a very good reason for this, since Subversion isn't distributed. And if you are developing, for example, generic module at customer A, and you want to test this and test this and test this, commit this and run it and test it on another environment, if you would try to do this with Subversion, the chances are very good that on a certain environment where you do not want to test the module, they end up there and maybe you break stuff. So I really stress, if you store all your configuration in some version control system, use a distributed one, like Darks or Git or probably there are some others around. And so you're able to control your environments. And very important, managers also want reports. What we do, on each Puppet master we control, there runs a script every night, and it checks, we use Darks by the way, it checks what changes have been done today and on what files. And we email each day at least to ourselves, and if the client wants a report as well. And we email all changes these days, so everyone working on the setup knows what's changed. And I must say, yeah, it works well. In some cases, it even seemed that a co-worker already changed a request, and it would be bad if you don't be checked. If you know it in advance, that's always better, I guess. Performance. By default, Ruby has the WebRig library. I'm sure if you know it, but believe you me, WebRig is it's crap really. It's slow. It doesn't work well when more than one node is connected. So if you want to run Puppet on more than 2 or 3 nodes, use Apache as a proxy and use Ruby Mongrel to host the Puppet master stuff. And the nice thing is, in the Puppet code, the Mongrel code is it is included, so you do not need a separate Mongrel package or program installed on your Puppet master. And there's good support by default for it. And at the end of the presentation, I'm going to mention a book, and there's a step-by-step recipe in the book and online in documentation as well how to do this. But really, use Mongrel. Don't use the default library.
Sorry, is that for the master?
Yeah.
Not the Bible?
No. It's Ruby, so Ruby uses a lot of memory. And unfortunately, some Ruby libraries have memory leaks as well. So make sure you are running a quite new version of Ruby. And if there are no memory leaks, we had cases the Puppet Master was using 7 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, and the swap space was getting really occupied. Even using Mongrel, the Puppet Master was getting this slow. The clients refused to accept the configuration catalog from the Puppet Master. So make sure you do something about the memory leaks, not by changing the Puppet code, but making sure you run a good version of Ruby.